Hello, everyone. This is Ben Klein, the Quality Manager for FLIR Systems Incorporated in Bozeman, Montana. This is the first of a series of webinars that will focus on various quality processes and quality related topics that will help your organization transition into production manufacturing. This webinar is focused on explaining the many benefits and advantages of implementing a quality management system in your organization and why this is a key strategy for the success of your business. I'd like to begin by explaining that we have nothing to sell here. We are sharing this information freely because we have experienced the benefits of a QMS and we want to help the rest of the photonics community on their path toward producing high quality products and to not have to develop a system from scratch in order to get there. The main actionable takeaway that we are providing to you is the clearly defined benefits of a QMS, which will equip you to promote these ideas within your respective organizations at all levels. Whether you are a member of senior leadership or report to senior leadership, you will be able to articulate the return on investment of allocating resources toward a QMS. This will help you gain support within the organization and support from leadership. The more leadership supports a QMS, the more effective the QMS will be. We are also trying to share with you a useful perspective about a QMS. We want to help you think differently about what a QMS is, to see why a QMS is invaluable and necessary, and gain insight into how a QMS can be used as a vehicle to help define your culture. It is at the heart and soul of the organization. So, this is what you will learn today. You will learn why a quality management system is a key business strategy. You will learn what a quality management system is. You'll learn what a process is, and you'll learn why you want to document processes. And finally, you'll learn what ISO 9001 is. You will likely embark on many strategies to fulfill your company's mission. One of the key strategies you're going to want to implement is the implementation of a quality management system. And here's why. First of all, it reduces expenses. It reduces expenses by reducing waste, wasted materials, wasted energy, wasted time. It will help you improve your yields. If you're going into production, yields are going to be essential for your success. You'll be able to do more with less, which is another way of saying be more efficient, particularly if you don't have a lot of resources available to you. If you're considering going down the path of lean manufacturing, a QMS is going to be the foundation of some of these lean principles. And it's also the foundation of operational excellence. A QMS is one of your key business strategies because it will accelerate your path to success. You will have an organized organization as a team of skilled employees. It'll increase the rate of product development and help ensure your products meet specification. A quality management system establishes measurable objectives so that you can see your progress toward your company goals. And ultimately, a QMS will define your reputation. A QMS is designed to help mitigate risks by being aware of them and taking action to address them. But it also helps you take advantage of opportunities by helping your organization be more nimble and able to adapt to a changing environment. And finally, a QMS ensures customers' needs are met. You can think of all of this as quality. So, a quality management system is a key business strategy because a QMS delivers quality. So, let's explore a little bit what the customer's needs are. And this is true regardless of who your customer is. A customer's needs: I want it cheap, I want it to work, I want it when I want it. Your mission is to provide that. If you can provide this to your customer, they will be successful. If they're successful, you're successful. And if your customer is successful, you will build trust. Trust is the foundation of your relationship with anyone. And what you're trying to do is build a relationship with your customers. And if you build it upon a foundation of trust, you're more likely to have repeat business, more likely to build a positive reputation, and therefore more likely to expand your customer base. So just as a QMS delivers quality, quality delivers trust. So what is a quality management system? A quality management system is a collection of processes, interconnected and interrelated. If you're going into high level production, then all of these processes are focused on one thing: manufacturing, your manufacturing process, because you need to make that manufacturing process successful. And how does it make the manufacturing process successful? By making sure that the manufacturing process produces high quality products. So all the processes you see in this diagram are either directly or indirectly supporting the manufacturing process. How you do your design and introduce that design into manufacturing, how you control your changes, how you control your documents with document management, how you control and manage your equipment such as calibration and preventive maintenance. All of these things contribute to the quality of your manufacturing process and therefore the quality of your products. So, a quality management system is a system of processes focused on quality. So, focus on quality. To me, this image invokes the idea of quality. I look at this and I see it's clean, it's precise, it's intricate, it's well made. This is a photograph that my dad took of the inside of a watch, and I have it posted on my office wall to help remind me what quality looks like. So when I see it, I recognize it. This is what we're aiming for in the photonics business, essentially making the watches Swiss watches of the photonics business. When you're talking about light, you need precision. So, what is quality? Let's talk about what quality is. On the base level, it meets specification. If you meet specification, you're meeting the requirements of your customer. But it also has to meet specification over a period of time. This is called reliability. Reliability is that it works over and over and over and maintains a high level of quality with repeated use. This makes your products dependable. Dependability also means trust. It's important to recognize that everyone in your organization has a role in quality, regardless of what their job function is. Either directly or indirectly, they will be affecting the quality of your product. So you're going to want to focus on quality in every process. All the processes that we outlined in that previous slide are focused on quality to make sure that your end products are quality. Within us as human beings is a desire to do good work, to perform well. And so quality is also pride in workmanship. When you consider it at this level, that we're always trying to achieve quality, quality is aspirational. So, what is a process? If a quality management system is a system of processes, what is a process? A process is a series of steps that transforms an input into an output. The easiest way to see this is if you have a collection of parts, say a lens housing, some laser components, a PCBA, and some hardware, and you have to assemble these pieces into sub-assemblies with a series of steps that ultimately produces this laser. And this is an image of a laser that I just pulled off the net. So you perform this series and assemble these pieces and you have your product. Well, just as this is a process, so is the process that pulled those parts from inventory, put them together and organized them as a kit so that you could deliver it to those who are going to be doing the assembly. So the output of one process is the input of the next process. When these processes start to connect in this way, you create a system. So for an example of this, let's take a look at the manufacturing process. And what we have here on the right is a basic manufacturing processes that you're likely to see in any assembly operation. It begins with the input of the customer demand, their requirements, their specifications, and you're going to perform a series of steps. Those blue boxes there are the series of steps that will end with your product that you ship to your customer. Each one of those blue boxes is a process in itself. And so a system of processes is processes within processes. And the output of each one of those processes is therefore an input to the next. And the successful output of that process makes it so that the next process is more successful as well. It's also important to recognize that throughout this process and throughout your system, you have people interacting. This is fundamental to a quality management system and one that's easily overlooked. A system of processes is a network of relationships, and they tend to interact specifically at those points where one process leads to the next. So you want that to occur with collaboration, communication, coordination, so that it flows. So, what is a process? When you think about it from a high level view, a process is a solution to a problem or a puzzle. Document your processes. Why do you want to document your processes? Well, let's talk about this. First, let's define what I mean by documenting your processes. I'm going to call it a procedure. When you have a procedure, those are your documented processes. So, what is the value of a procedure? Well, first of all, you're less likely to forget how you did what you did. When I first started working as a QC tech, I was being trained by several different people, and it was like drinking from the fire hose. And so, in order to keep up with it all, I wrote it down so that I would forget how I was supposed to do all the things I needed to do to inspect components. But I also knew that if I was going to do this over and over, I needed to be able to do it the same way each time, and that someone else doing the same process would also need to be able to do it exactly the way I did it. This is essential for production manufacturing. That regardless of whether one person's doing it over and over and over, or several people are doing the same process over and over, the output needs to be the same. You're less likely to make mistakes if you have it written down, because then you can follow along on the written documentation. So we can reduce errors if you have a documented process in the form of a procedure. It simplifies and expedites training of your personnel. This is important also if you want to bring new people up to speed more quickly. If you already have it documented and you have photographs, illustrations, diagrams, and all the steps necessary to perform the function, you're more likely to have personnel gain that skill set more quickly. Plus, they can refer to it if they have questions. And finally, the most important aspect of documenting a procedure is definition. Definition. Of course, it defines the process steps themselves and the sequence and the details for how to do it and what you need to do. But it also defines key terminology. Conflict often arises as a result of different definitions of key terminology. So if you can come to agreement on what the words mean, then you can have greater acceptance of the process and less conflict. By documenting your procedure, you're defining the expectations of how to perform and the level of quality you expect from the output of your process. The defined procedure also can define the needs of the next process. What does the next process need to be successful? What does your output need to look like to be a good, solid input for the next process? When you come to agreement on all of these definitions, your procedure becomes a form of agreement, almost like a contractual agreement for how we want to function, how we want to perform as a team. So, documented processes in the form of a procedure reduce variability, eliminate ambiguity, create harmony. Reduce variability, eliminate ambiguity, and create harmony. So now let's talk a little bit about the ISO 9001 international standard. People tend to look at requirements as restrictions or something imposed by an outside body. Another way of looking at requirements is the elements that are required for you to be successful. Just as a house requires that you have a bathroom and a bedroom and a kitchen, these aren't restrictions. These are things necessary to have security in your house. And so the international standard has a list of processes that you are required to have if you want to be successful. Of course, if you are going down the path of certification and you do hit all these processes and put them in place to be successful, Certification is easy. Let's look at this with an analogy. Let's say you're going on a backpacking trip. You're going to go trekking, and you have to determine what you're going to bring with you on this trek. So you have this backpack with a finite amount of space, and you're going to pack a tent and a sleeping bag and your tools and your compass and your map and your food and your rain jacket. All of these are necessary for the success of your packing trip. And this is another way to show that the QMS is in part to help you mitigate risk, because you want these parts to help you be successful and mitigate the risk of things happening while you're out there on your trekking trip. So the way to look at the international standard is a checklist. A quality management system is a checklist, and ISO 9001 is a checklist of processes you need for success. The principles of ISO 9001. Now we get into the more profound aspect of ISO 9000. And these are the 7 principles that are the foundation of ISO 9000. And we'll take a look at these because think you will see that there really isn't a lot here that you would disagree with. The first one is customer focus. Again, understanding what the customer's needs are and then designing your system to meet those needs. By focusing on quality, as we discussed at the beginning of the presentation, you're focused on the customer. Leadership. By implementing a QMS as a business strategy, you are demonstrating leadership. You are committing to the QMS, committing to customer focus, and committing to your personnel. Engagement of people. Engagement of people is giving people the opportunity to contribute to the success of your organization. But it's also to get people to engage the system and make improvements and to set people up to be successful in your operation. The process approach, just like we discussed. By having processes and having them interconnected as a system, then everything you do will be much more consistent in your output. So another way of thinking about process approach is systems thinking. Within each one of us is the desire to get better. As human beings, we push ourselves to get better. And so one of the principles of ISO 9000 is improvement. This is improving your skills and knowledge. This is improving the efficiency and effectiveness of your processes. This is improving the design of your products. Improvement is a fundamental aspect of ISO 9000 and your QMS. Evidence-based decision making. Collect data, collect objective evidence. This is what you're going to use to make decisions under complex situations, or to evaluate risk, or to determine how you want to allocate resources. Having evidence to make those decisions gives you a better chance of making the right decision. And finally, the most profound one of them all, relationship management. Relationship management. Again, just as we discussed at the very beginning, build trust through quality. That's to develop a relationship based on trust. So relationship management is incorporated as a fundamental principle, whether that's the relationship with your customer, relationship with your suppliers, relationship with your employees, the relationship among the employees. It's fundamental to the success of your system. So in summary, this is what you learned. You learned that a quality management system is a key business strategy because quality delivers trust. A quality management system is a system of processes focused on quality. A process is a solution to a problem. Documented processes reduce variability, eliminate ambiguity, and create harmony. ISO 9001 standard is just a checklist of necessary items for your QMS journey. Thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully you feel equipped to take this information back to your organization to help promote the investment of resources into implementing and maintaining a quality management system. It is a fundamental aspect to the culture of your organization and key to your success. We hope you found this webinar useful in your understanding of what a QMS is. And we hope you found a few gems of knowledge that will help shape the way you approach your quality management system and the way you look at it. We wish you the best of luck on your quality journey.